Buenas and Hafaday, good morning. Biba Betnes. This public hearing conducted by the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts is hereby called to order at 9:09 Chamorro Standard Time. Notice of the hearing was disseminated to all local media outlets on November 7, 2024, with the second notice provided on November 13, 2024. And notice of the hearing was also made known on the Guam Legislature's website and on the Government of Guam Public Notices portal. This morning, the committee will hear and accept testimony on Bill number 279-37 LS, which is an act to add a new subsection 849.17 to Chapter 8, Title 1, GCA, relative to renaming the AGAT Southern Precinct as the Jose T. PEDO Terlaje Police Station, which I introduced along with my co-sponsors. I'm grateful for their co-sponsorship. Of course, Vice Speaker Tina Muña Barnes, Senator Will Parkinson, Speaker Therese Terlaje, Senator Jess Lujan, Senator Amanda Shelton, Vice Chair of the committee, Senator Chris Dueñas, Senator Joseph Agustin, Senator Dwayne Nicolas, Senator Joanne Brown, Senator and Minority Leader Frank Blas Jr., and Senator Roy Quinata. We'll also be hearing and accepting testimony on the reappointment of Lisa A. Baza-Cruz, Doctor of Education, as member of the Guam Commission for Educator Certification, as well as the reappointment of Lisa M. Cooper, Nurse Education Doctor, as member of the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. I'd like to welcome my colleagues joining us today. To my right, Vice Speaker Tina Muña Barnes. To my left, Speaker Therese Terlaje. Senator Roy Quinata is on the far right, and on the far left, Senator Tello Taidagui. Thank you, colleagues, for joining us today. And I'd like to now go over the general rules of conduct. Individuals testifying shall first be recognized by the chair before speaking and shall state their name for record-keeping purposes. Questions and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal inference as to the character or motive of any senator or individual testifying is not permitted. The chair of the committee may order the removal from a hearing any member of a legislator Guahan who fails to observe proper decorum pursuant to the 37th Guam Legislature's standing rules. Any violation of this general rule of conduct will result in the removal from the hearing by the host. And we'll now begin the public hearing on Bill number 279-37, which again is a very simple measure to name the AGAT Southern Police Station after the late Honorable Jose PEDO Terlaje, who was born to Sus Castro Terlaje and Emilia Gogo Toves Terlaje, the fourth of 9 siblings. Of course, the late senator is from the village of Dueñas Rolls, and is a 1967 alumni of George Washington Senior High School. He also graduated from a college with an Associate of Arts in Political Science, Bachelor of Arts in Business and Public Admin from the University of Guam in 1979. He represented his island and his nation bravely as a Vietnam War veteran and served in the U.S. Army as a first sergeant, retiring after 20 years, recognized with the Soldier of the Year Award. He had an 18-year career with the Guam Police Department, leading the Narcotics Division, and graduated from the Drug Enforcement Administration's Drug Enforcement Academy. He was also the Director of Civil Defense under the former Governor Joseph Ed.D. and led recovery efforts following Super Typhoon Pamela, and was named Vice President of the National Emergency Management Association Pacific Region. The late senator also ran for Lieutenant Governor with the late Senator Onget Santos with the slogan HITA, the Chamorro inclusive form of we, and as an acronym for honesty, integrity, trust, and accountability. He was elected mayor of Dueñas in 2000, serving for 12 years, and was also president of the Mayor's Council of Guam and president of the Association of the Marianas Island Mayors. He was elected to Imina 35 na legislatura en Guahan, Imina 36 na legislatura en Guahan, where he was the chair of this committee, the Committee on Public Safety, as well as the Committee on Emergency Response, the Mayor's Council of Guam, Military and Veterans Affairs, and the Mass Transit. He's survived by his wife, who is in attendance here, Auntie Flo Paredo Akfaji Terlaje, si dus masi ma'am, as well as his children and spouses, Joey and Melissa Gumatauta Hernandez, Joel and Genevieve Ann Sablon Leon Guerrero, Joshua and Tisha Perez, Janet and Joey Garrido, as well as 29 grandchildren and 11 great grandchildren. But I think more importantly, and of equal value, he leaves a lot of great memories for the people of Guam as an esteemed leader who fought for our people's Chamorro rights. I got to know the late senator and Uncle PEDO through my time with the campaign, the HITA campaign, and actually was able to host some of the rallies down at the house in Pulantad, and it was then that I really became to admire the late senator's drive and passion for the Chamorro culture and also his drive for accountability and trust. As that, for those of you who were around at that time, that was a very exciting campaign. The HEAT campaign, the political landscape was it was very interesting in that election, and so I was very grateful to be able to witness firsthand. And really, you know, anybody that Ongit is going to tap to be his second, I think, is someone worthy of recognition and commendation. And that's kind of where the bill came in. You know, in meeting with the family, there was a desire, and I think it's very fitting to have the late senator, especially as a police officer's memory live on in the naming of the Southern Precinct. And so with that, we welcome all testimony now. Auntie Flo, if you wanted to come up, just whoever is signed up to provide testimony here. Please come on up to the table. And again, just state your name for record keeping purposes, and then you can proceed with your testimony. I don't know who wants to go first.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just look back real quick. Give us a moment. I'd like to recognize, before I start, Senator, if I may, I'd like to recognize my mom. My dad's sister's here. Auntie Liz, Auntie Sherry's here. Excuse me. My dad's brother, Uncle Frankie's here. My kids are here. Joni, just raise your hand real quick. Dr. Joni, she's a police sergeant. And I have my daughter, Janessa, so also a police officer. All my kids are police officers. We all serve our community in that capacity. Jared, and everybody in my now, Joey, thank you, everybody, for coming. Again, Senators, my name is Joey Terlaje. I'm the oldest son of the late Senator Jose PEDO Terlaje. I know you guys heard of Chase. He's our official mascot over at the Department of Parks and Rec, and I also brought his son, Baby Chase. Am I correct, Colonel? Baby Chase? But there's a message that he wants to say. You guys be good. I love you. I'll play it again. He says, you guys be good. I love you all. You guys be good. I love you all. Senator Tina, you recognize that voice? Those were my dad's last words. Before he passed away. Senators, good morning. Antes ututun hafa pabe patti paramzu. Zahuna beya. Sulias din oportunidad para bayu. Naayam sundang kluna si Diyos masi para este. Senator Chris Barnett, kumutun lalalo, sir. Esta pega ki corazón. That's so mad doing that. Half a day, good senators. Good morning again. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today. I am here in support of Bill number 279-37, LS. What I'm about to say hints the very essence of honor, legacy, and the values we embrace as a community. Please consider the significance of renaming the Southern Precinct Command in honor of my dad, the late Senator Jose PEDO Terlaje. My dad dedicated his life to serving our country and our island with firm pride and honor. He was a soldier in the United States Army, a role that instilled in him the values of courage, duty, and sacrifice. He fought in the Vietnam War and won the Soldier of the Year award for the whole Pacific region. A retired U.S. Army and Vietnam War veteran who understood the true meaning of service. He was a police officer for 18 years. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in public administration and successfully graduated from the Drug Enforcement Administration's Academy. He believed in the power of education as a tool of empowerment and used the knowledge towards better serving our community. He was the Director of Civil Defense for 8 years and ran for Lieutenant Governor with the late Senator Angel Santos, HITA. He served our community as the mayor of Dueñas for 12 years and was the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam. He worked tirelessly to improve the quality of life of his constituents and demonstrating a level of commitment that inspired many, to include our youth, our manamko, and my cousin, the Dueñas Mayor-elect, B.J. Terlaje. He supported our schools, church, beautification projects, sports, and numerous programs within our village. As a senator, he championed the needs of our people and the law enforcement community, advocating for progress and justice for all. He sponsored numerous bills, and to mention a couple, Bill number 26-36, the Park Ranger Reserve Corps. This bill made it possible for me, as the Park Police Chief, to immediately implement the Park Police Officer Reserve Program. Bill number 346-36 LS defined benefit 1.75 retirement system, which supported Bill 37-37 COR, recognized by law as the Senator Jose PEDO Terlaje Retirement Act. This bill allowed all current law enforcement officers to retire at age of 55 with at least 25 years of service and age of 57 with 5 years of experience. My dad quoted, "The bill was a long time coming to our law enforcement officers and our Government of Guam employees who deserve recognition for all of their hard work. They do the service for our people." By renaming the Southern Precinct Command to honor the late Senator Jose PEDO Terlaje, we are not merely recognizing my dad, but rather we are celebrating the ideals he embodied: hard work, sacrifice, and stewardship. This renaming serves as a reminder to all of us that our good actions can leave a lasting impact in our community. In conclusion, I humbly ask you to support this bill, not just a tribute to my dad, but as a declaration of our shared commitment to service and our community. Let us honor my dad's contributions and ensure his legacy continues to inspire everyone and for the next generations to come. Situs Masi.
All good luck, Colonel. Chief, good morning.
Alpha Day and good morning, Mr. Chairman, Senators. I wish I could speak Chamorro like my brother here. My mom would be proud. I want to thank the family, because if it wasn't for them sharing this honorable man, the island would be at a big loss. And you've already spoken of much of his accomplishments, as well as what you've heard from Chief Joey Terlaje. I want to say that I echo that, but more than echo, I experienced that. He was my mentor. When I was going through difficult times from patrol level to chief, this gentleman, this fine person, helped me in many ways. When I was in Highway Patrol, we were having double-digit traffic fatalities. He was the mayor of Dueñas, and he helped me to reduce the number of fatalities to single-digit. We would have loved to remove any amount of fatalities, but we know that's not quite possible due to human nature. There are many other occasions where he stepped in to help not only myself, but other fellow officers, I don't care what rank. He was highly intelligent and well respected among his peers and people in the community. He helped many of us during our investigations. We were together in patrol, narcotics, as you mentioned, intelligence section, detectives, special enforcement division. He was my sergeant there too. And of course, you named the other places that he was a leader. Now, my brother here got me kind of emotional too, which I can understand. He's really close, very close to his dad. Who wouldn't be? But on the other hand, I have to remind everyone, this is a time for celebration. As we talked before the hearing, he's watching us. The other side of this wonderful man is his sense of humor. Much like you, Mr. Chairman, he had a way of bringing not only happiness and joy, but a different perspective to situations that are sometimes very serious. And he had an ability and a capability of helping people to face the trouble that they have, but also to come out of it feeling a lot better because of his encouragement. And right now I sense that he's looking down right at this very moment, cheering us on and saying, thank you very much. Take care, and I love you. I hear that. And I know that every single person that is hearing this hearing today understands what we're talking about, even if they don't know the person as well or as personally as some of us do. I know there are others that would have loved to be here. They assured me that they're cheering right now also that this bill would be passed. I don't want to take up much of your time. You have a lot to do. This man did a lot, and I'm very proud and happy that I was given the honor and privilege to work with him. So thank you all very much.
Cesar Masi, Chief, and yes, we did, unfortunately, Chief Ignacio won't be able to make it. As you know, there are two funerals of retired police officers this morning, but he did indicate that he'll be sending a favorable testimony. And I just did also get a message from Chief Marquez, too, who said that he is in support of the bill. Well, congratulations, Mayor-elect, and good morning.
Manana si Zeus para toru hamzu. No manana si Zeus and hofere para toru hamzu. Minagfo oganza memorias para torudu. Guahu si Brian BJ Terlaje, y Mayor-elect para iseng sungzonia, estimamaila na administrasyon. Zagwahu i subrinun i Quinata as Senador PEDO Terlaje. Magavdu po guna ogaan sa enra i Quinata as Senador dan istaba mahot zonia si Jose PEDO Tovis Terlaje. Magavdu sa recognition sa hafadiput si imalago niya si Sina PEDO na hakeke tsogwi para itaw-taw tagi izagwahan anay la gwi. Sen magavdu sa pago na tiempo esta in lili I hafa I mas tadudung ki holomi corazon niya. Anay haagang jo si ite luhu si Joey na parukumbida jo pago na okasyon sa sangoni jo sa hafa in dadanya pago gumalolopi I corazon ho. Lo hukeke hasutati anay patgunjo gi I familia. Pers malago jo na para ba istoryaji hamzu didide pudi familia ko I familian ta ka gi itazo niya. Tori tempo mandadanya I familia ko at suka ogaan, taluani, pupuengi durante ni weekend pat insigidas mandadanya. Guahana biyay na sen osunzu dumanya sa ni familia ko. Lo ahi ti indadanya na man dispensado. lo ahi ti indanya na mandadanya ham. Ti idinanya dispensa. Ti idinanya na mandadanya ham. Mas puriguinaiza dan inafa maulik a anuk anay mandadanya ifamilako. Za esti fumanunui ham gini man gwelota siha. Lo anay huhasu tati an mandanya ifamilako kana mas dididi na hulili isay nata aspiro. Torui tempo matsotsotso gui za makat itsetsonya sa gaigi gui istaba gi polisia. Adzuha na taigui gui gi inet ni familia. Lo ifamilako tanza ti infafaisin pat questiona amono gaigi gui pat hafa at hatsogui gui hina tempo. Sa esta intingo hafa si sainapido ibidadanya para mana safu i komunidad Guam. Nihi tahanaw mo na para esti na tiempo. Anay mahot gui si sainapido tori tiempo maajutu da i komunidad zonya, especialmente i manyay nata. Anay suminidot gui itsetso niya mas para inina safun Guam, jan talo ilinala iminaulik imanyay nata siha. Pues esta intingo hafa dipot siha ke ketso gui si say natas pido gi mas tadung gi ikrasonnya anay la gui. Para iminaulik jani inina safun ilinala itaw-tawta, especialmente imanyay nata siha. Pues malago zo na para bahuna nois en dongkulo na si Juus maasi jan bendisyon para si Senador Chris Barnett, jan todo isinidor, jan senadora siha, ni mana posibli esti na istaw. Hunggan taigui itataw-taw niya si sainapido, lo espiritu niya mula na giholo mi corazon ta, especialmente i corazon i islatan Guam. Pues nihita tsuli i modelon si Senador Pido, zata usa para i costumbreta para tana maulik ihinanaw itsalanta mo na zanilina la itaw-taw taguahan. Bendisyon para todo hamzu zan sendongkulo na say na maosi.
Sidos masi mayot para ikuntasmo sen tordong sidos masi. Vice Speaker, did you have any questions for the panel? And if there's anyone else who would like to come up and provide a testimony, you can do so. But if Vice.
Mr. Chair, for allowing me to address the panel and the family here. Many of God's blessings to all of you. Thank you. Very touched. I literally wish in my heart that I could speak as eloquent as you both spoke in our native tongue. And that was something I shared with you, Joey, yesterday, that it was something that we all admired on the session floor. Yes, there was Senator Ben Pangilinan and Senator Tom Atta, but when Uncle Pedo spoke, when Senator Pedo spoke in our native tongue, everybody stopped and listened. It was his heart, deepest within his heart, that the value he had for his people and his island was nothing can compare. His love for serving, his love for giving, his love for literally saying in Chamorro, Mandanya, please, por favor, please come together. Let's not fight. We talked, the chair spoke, Mr. Chair, you spoke about his history of being a Vietnam veteran, a soldier, a police officer, a mayor, a president of the Mayor's Council, a senator. How much more could he have given? He gave it his all. And I want to say that when this draft legislation was being routed, I asked to be a co-sponsor because he was my gang's right behind me, and every time I was in doubt and wanted to say something, he was always there. And if I needed translation, he was always there for me too. But all kidding aside, I want to say that the heart he gave for his village residents in Joanne, it meant so much to him. And seeing 3 generations of law enforcement, 3 or 4, I think, of law enforcement officers in his family just shows a lot of what he believed his island should have: protection, security, and safety. Naming this facility on his behalf is just a little token for saying this man did so much. How much more can we give? Let us remember his legacy. Let us remember the good that he's done. Let us remember the freedoms he protected for us to be here. I want to say thank you, Auntie Flo, Auntie Liz and family, all of you guys for being here to support this measure, and thank the good author for giving me the opportunity to be a part of that. I will support this legislation 1,000%, and I really hope that we can get it passed before we synodi in the 37th Guam legislature, because this is important. From the people of Guam to give back for a man who gave his all. Sijus Mahasin, Sijusun Binidisi Amzatotus, Sanamasi. I support this measure. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me the honor to be a part of this legislation moving forward.
Sudosmasi, Vice Speaker. Senator Titagui, you're recognized for any questions or comments for the panel.
Good morning, and good morning to my colleagues. Especially good morning to Joanne, who's in the house right now. I had great memories of the late Senator Mayor Peter Terlaje, and excuse me, very fond memories. I mean, if there was anybody who was going to make us laugh in the legislature, it was him. If there was anyone who was going to break the, the tension in the legislature, oh, it was him. He definitely has a great background, and I respect that of him. And of course, I know his family very well. So I really don't have any questions. I appreciate that everyone's here. I do see the Vice Mayor of AGAT who's here. I don't think he's going to be testifying. Are you here to testify at all? Okay, he's just here to listen. Okay, yeah, that's what he said. So I try to be fair with everything, even though I'm very close to the Terlaje family, as the family knows. But I want to be fair with all the people of Guam. And AGAT, I've got some messages this morning from people in AGAT, especially someone who sits on the Municipal Council of AGAT, who's very concerned and feels that this place should be named, since it's in AGAT, it should be named after one of their own village residents in AGAT. And I said, well, are you coming to testify? Is anybody from Humatek coming to testify? Because, this precinct is serving the South. Is that correct? The South. So it's not just AGAT. It's Humatek, it's Malesu, it's all the southern areas, right? Southern precinct. So I think we need to get more information, because if we're going to vote on this, I want to vote on this with good conscience, that we allowed all those villages and those southern villages to be able to come out as well. And if they have someone they want to put up, that they feel that's deserving of the name on a southern, precinct, then we have to hear it. And then we can choose, or we can vote on who we think should get it. And then I know that I would vote with good conscience. I think that's only fair. So I look forward to hearing from them. I did mention to this one constituent from AGAT, please check your mayor, your municipal council, and, submit something. like right away if you have to. So I know you had something to say, Paul. Good to see you. From Hagat, by the way, Paul Suba is from Hagat.
If I could, exactly, and I voted for my wonderful vice and
Yes.
mayor.
Good choice.
I'm from Hagat, but if I could also say that when PEDO Terlaje, Senator, Civil Defense Director, Mayor, when he was the mayor of Dueñas, and the Dueñas rules, but AGAT rules on the west side, he created a co-bond for us. It didn't have to be built. He found a place so that we, from Southern Precinct, AGAT side, can go to Dueñas and help support them. So when we say AGAT Precinct, it's really the whole Southern Precinct. And he tried to help me when I was chief to build a Talafofo Precinct so that the officers from Hagat, hopefully soon to be Jose Terlaje Precinct, they wouldn't have to go all the way across Cross Island, around the island, by Mauricio, to get to the poor folks that are calling for help on the other side of the island. And so,
thank you.
Hopefully that'll still happen.
Well, and that's exactly what needs to be heard. These things that he's done, that wasn't in the testimony. And if people of Guam hear that, then you're going to see a lot of people who are going to support Senator PEDO Terlaje because of those things that he's done. Because you want that name to be put on there with good conscience, number one, and you want the majority of people in the South to agree as well. You don't want the name to go up there and then you're going to get a lot of slack from a lot of people, because there's connections or whatever, That's not right. And I know PEDO Terlaje, we've had our discussions on the session floor. And he was always about being open and making sure everybody has an opportunity to speak. And that's the kind of man he was. He wouldn't leave you out. And then definitely he saw a conflict of interest, he stepped aside. Remember? He put Senator Frank Blas in because he felt there was a conflict. He stepped aside. And this is the kind of person we don't want to tarnish his name. So when we put that name on that precinct, the majority of people are going to say yes, because it's deserving. If there's somebody else that may be deserving of their name on the precinct, I don't know. But the opportunity will be there. And I'm pretty sure that PEDO would want that same thing. He would want to be fair. So that's all I'm saying. But I noticed that the mayor came up. Mr. Chair, I'll yield to the Vice Mayor. I'll yield to him. Okay.
Sidos Masi, Senator Tideway. Just for the record, the committee, we are accepting testimony. We have not received any testimony in opposition of the bill. But this is the process. We introduce a bill, we have a public hearing on it, and we take into account all of the testimony. I would just like to note also for the record, and I'm sure Senator Tideway agrees, that although the precinct is located in the village of Hagat, it's the precinct for the entire South. And I firmly believe Dueñas is the South. I don't think there's any argument there. So, Vice Mayor, would you like to testify, and then we can continue with the colleagues?
Hafide and good morning. Just for the record, I'm Vice Mayor Christopher Farron of Hagat. I wasn't here to testify, but the good Senator Taitugui called me out on this one, so I'm just here to say a few words. Me personally, I support this bill, but I'm hearing, otherwise from some of our constituents, and that's why we have this. I have no doubt about PEDO's accomplishments and what he's done as a senator, as a mayor, and as a police officer. But I also represent my community, and I'm hearing quite a few feedbacks. So I think as a leader of the village, I think we should bring it up at the village level first, and then see where we go as a group. It's only fair for everybody, like the good senator said, everybody from the South, But because it's in Hagat, some of the residents are, because we have quite a few that retired from GPD. Our chief here was one of them down there too. So, Nothing to take away.
And Mark Charfer is probably against it.
But yes, you know, I think it'll be only fair to give it back to our residents and see where we go from there. But I personally feel that this is right, and it'd be fitting for, of course, Auntie Flo and the Terlaje family to have it named under the former senator and police officer and mayor. But yes, please, is this the first or is this the last public hearing that you have for this bill? Or
Vice. So the public hearing process works. We will receive testimony today, and then for 10 days after, from 10 days till today, we'll accept testimony written to be dropped off here at the office, and then also to be emailed, and I'll provide
so
the email.
that should be given enough time for the community if they have any, if they're against the bill to turn in their testimony.
Okay, so yeah, just tell the AGAT people now if they want to provide testimony in support or opposition that they can do so, and I'll provide all the means for them to do.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice.
Mr. Chair? Yeah.
Senator Tydegui?
Thank you. If I can continue, I wanted just to allow him to speak, and I thank you for coming up and stepping up. But, you know, I appreciate the fact that you mentioned the other villages, not just Dueñas, but, you know, and Hagat, but the other villages. And what would make it more even, you know, hit really hard, I mean, not hard, but can you imagine having a decision made by all those southern villages coming together and deciding to have it named after PEDO Terlaje? What an honor that would be. It was done the way he would want it to be done, fairly, but to be recognized by all the other villages, now that is the greatest thing. I mean, he would probably want to be voted on that rather than his name on it, but we need to recognize all the great accomplishments he has, and I think many people in the South do recognize that. So thank you again for coming up, Vice Mayor, and congratulations to Terlaje from Dueñas. Biba BJ, congratulations to you as well, and to both you, Mayor and Vice Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tydegui. Senator Quinata?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The late President JFK once said that, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I think in the sentiment, Uncle PEDO always measured his impact by ask not what your island can do for you, but what you can do for your island. Senator PEDO was a statesman of honor. Although I didn't work with him as a colleague, it's truly an honor to have met him in person and definitely worked with him. His values and character weren't measured by the many titles he had. It was measured by the many people he helped throughout his careers, whether it being the mayor, whether it being a police officer, and whether it being a senator. Numerous times I had many friends at his office, and I went to his office. So many people came into his office, and he never said no to them, even if it was really unethical. He wanted to help them no matter what. And you know, we often joked about, Uncle PEDO, you cannot do that. Boy, basta, they need it, and boy, we're gonna do it. And you know, it's the strength and courage for him to always put people before himself. And all of his children, all of his grandkids, the generations of public service continue to echo his legacy as a true legend for his whole family. And not only his family, but Dueñas. How many times did he run for mayor and he was always top vote getter? Slaughter y otro. You know, so I think it's very fitting for us to recognize his accomplishments and all his attributions to our island and truly give him this recognition. And I'm sure that he is so proud of each and every one of you for stepping up and to continue the legacies he's had. And I'm sure there's many more that will be stepping up to serve. You guys are definitely a law enforcement family. I think every agency you guys are in, even the park police already are in it. So, I just wanted to make sure that I reflect my full support from Uncle Pedo. Auntie Flo, he loved you. And he's happy with all of your hard work you've helped him through. Because, man, behind every strong man, there's an even stronger woman, no? And I know you're a very strong woman. Look at how many kids you've brought into this world, and I am sure they will be there 150% throughout everything. And congratulations to BJ. Uncle Pedo is so proud of you as well. So again, you guys are a really strong, tight-knit family, and you guys are literally a block vote. So, you guys continue to take care of each other, and you guys have my full support. It is my hope that we pass this legislation before my tenure here ends, but if not, I hope the new incoming senators will pick this up and move it forward. But thank you again for all your hard work. Your father, grandfather is very much proud of you, and your husband. And keep up the good work. Take care.
Sidos Masi, Senator Quinata. Speaker Terlaje, you're recognized.
Sidos Masi, Chairman, and for introducing the bill as well and getting us all to, allowing us to be co-sponsors, because we're very proud to be. And I want to thank all of you who've testified and all of you who've come in support and open as well to additional testimony. However, I think one of the things that, we would be very proud to name this precinct in his honor is because it is the South, because of his concern and care for the South, and because he, like so many other Vietnam veterans, their legacy really was to come back to Guam despite what they went through and really up their service to our community, to give all of their commitment back to our community. They built our community at that time, with their strength and their resilience. And it really was resilience, because Pedo was willing to share some of his stories, and of course he would make them funny in the end, but these are harrowing events, what they went through. So I'm very proud that he will be, if this Southern Precinct will be named after him from Dueñas, and as a Vietnam veteran as well. I think in naming a building after somebody, of course we honor them, and in this case with real reason, and because of, the bio that you read, Mr. Chair, and the other additional knowledge that we have of him, and the other stories that we will most definitely hear of him and his service. But naming the building also serves another purpose. It puts in permanent history of Guam what this person did in the hopes of encouraging and inspiring other people to do the same or similar or more, right? And so we can see from Pedo's life that he actually did that by his service, inspired others, helped others, and we can see that in a very concrete way in his family's commitment to law enforcement and many other public service careers. These are difficult careers, these are critically needed, and this is what we want to do, is we want to inspire law enforcement in particular, more people to commit themselves to that, more people to, despite the risk, despite the hardship and the sacrifice that it takes, to realize, we want them to see that our community will honor you. We appreciate that sacrifice that you made. So I fully support this bill, and he was a very gentle man, but a leader. So I'm hoping that all of those who he served with will find comfort in the recognition that we recognize all of you as well for your service and sacrifice. and that all of those coming after him, will remain inspired and feel a little more strength in that our community, we recognize all of you who have dedicated your lives in this way. Situsmasi, Mr. Chair.
Situsmasi, Speaker Terlaje. Senator Brown, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to you. Good morning to the Terlaje family and all of you that are here to testify with regards to this bill. It's always a challenge, and how do you address, who do you hold up above all others, because many have contributed to our community, and certainly I appreciate the input from Senator Tello this morning with regards to there perhaps may be others that feel there might be somebody more deserving of this honor. And there's a challenge, but certainly those are the decisions that we get to make up here to determine if this particular bill moves forward. I think it will. I've known Peter Terlaje for over 36 years. I was a very young person working in the Blas administration when I was appointed to the governor's cabinet, and certainly PEDO was working at Civil Defense, and that was my first time with him. He'd since, of course, stepped down from the police department. And over the years, I've known him, and then, to have the opportunity during my last term in the legislature to serve with him, it's kind of coming full circle after all these years. And, he still maintained his humor, his soft-spoken stand, moments that during times of tremendous tension on the floor, he'd give you a moment of humor, a moment to laugh, or a moment to relax, not take things so seriously. And there's always a need for that because life is very challenging. There's many pressures we all have to deal with every day in all that we do. And I can understand. I mean, I'm sure there's many also that will be deserving of being recognized. But, as the speaker said, we memorialize someone, and then when we name a building after them, generations down, they might wonder, who is that person? What did they do? What did they contribute to our community that made them deserving of being recognized? And it's for the future generations, perhaps, that this would be more befitting for, because for those of us that knew him, no explanation is required. But for younger people that have yet maybe to have a sense of direction in their own lives, knowing and maybe researching and getting to know, who is this building named after? Why was this person selected from others? How did this individual stand out to be recognized and to be honored, I think is a lesson in and of itself. So I certainly have no reservations. I understand there may be others. There's an opportunity certainly for anyone else in the community, if they want to contribute another name that they believe is more befitting to rename the Southern Precinct, they certainly can do so in the time period that's being provided. But I certainly have no reservations in supporting this building being named after PEDO. I think, law enforcement in and of itself, we're on the receiving end. We're the members of the community, the citizens that count on our law enforcement in the community to help us, to protect us, especially when we've been harmed. And there's a comfort in that. And we want to encourage. This is a time, believe it or not, when we actually need more of our young people to step up and want to pursue careers in law enforcement. I mean, PEDO did many things, certainly as the mayor of Dueñas, and certainly serving in this legislature, serving in the military, but we all recognize him for his service in law enforcement. And we need more young people to be inspired to want to help and protect their community, because, oh my Lord, there's never been probably a time in our lifetime that we've needed it as we do now because of all the challenges we're facing and the crime that's out there and the fact that our people, while we have more material things in life, we may have the nicer cars, we may have the nicer house, we don't feel safe. And how do you exchange that? Money doesn't buy that. And I think we want to get back to that level of comfort in our community. What makes Guam special? What makes Guam good? What makes us welcoming to others to come and visit is because we want our island to be safe. We want to know our families are safe, our elderly out there, our young people that are so precious to us. So I certainly appreciate, Mr. Terlaje. I got to talk to you last week, and we got to reminisce about your husband, and I know you miss him very much. But, we've got good memories of him that we carry with us, and I certainly am very supportive of this legislation and recognize his contribution to the community. And I think like I said, we need more young people, newer young people in our community to step up and want to serve their community as he did, as a young person. So thank you very much to all of you that have come to testify, and thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to provide comment on this bill.
Sidos Masi, Senator Brown, for your comments, and to all of my colleagues as well. As I said, the committee will continue to accept testimony, whether in support or opposition of the bill. But I would just like to say that as a son of the South, the late Senator PEDO, I think is very worthy of this recognition, definitely. But again, if anybody has any testimony to provide to the committee, they can do so in writing. They could drop that off here at the Guam Congress Hall or provide it via email, malafunction@guamlegislature.org. That's MALAFUNKSHUN at guamlegislature.org. So, you know, back in the days, you know, AGAT and Dueñas was a little bit like this, but times have changed and now we can be like this. So, Sidos Masi again, Vice Mayor, for your testimony. Joey, thank you so much for your heartfelt testimony, and it's my intention to move forward with the bill and, you know, hopefully get it passed in the December session before the conclusion of the term. So, Dokaluna Sidos Masi, thank you. And that will mean that we have duly heard Bill number 279-37. We're just going to take a short 1-minute recess, and we'll come back with the confirmation hearings for the educator, the Commission for Educator Certification. Sidos Masi. Buenas, and we are back from a short recess. Once again, this is the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts, and we're continuing with our public hearings this morning, where we'll now move on to the confirmation hearings for Lisa A. Baza-Cruz, Dr. Lisa A. Baza-Cruz, and Dr. Lisa M. Cooper Nurse, members for the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. And so I'd like to welcome you, both of the nominees, and also Ms. Roberta for showing up to testify. And we usually start with testimony for the nominees and then hear from the nominees themselves. So please proceed, and don't forget to state your name for the record. Cesar Masi.
Good morning, Senator. My name is Roberta Abadai. I am the chairperson for the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. And I'm here to speak for both of these women who are strong women, dedicated professionals who would continue to provide valuable insight and work for the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. I've been working with them for a number of years already. They have been members of committee. They never miss meetings, and they are always thinking about the children and the teachers on the island. I have provided written testimony that you have received on December 7th for one, Dr. Lisa Cooper Nurse, and on October 2 for Dr. Lisa Baza-Cruz. So those have already been provided to you. But I do ask kindly to please make sure that they are put in for positive confirmation, so that they can continue the work on the commission, because they are, out of all the ones that I've worked with, two of the most valuable members of the commission that I can imagine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Abadai. No guarantees on the favorable vote, but I got to say it looks good. You know what I mean? Usually these are non-controversial. And I guess now we'll hear from the nominee, and we'll start with Dr. Lisa Baza-Cruz. Ma'am?
It is a pleasure to be before you this morning. I am Dr. Lisa Baza-Cruz, and I humbly request your support for my confirmation as a terminal degree education representative to the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. I would like to begin by acknowledging Governor Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Tenorio for their support of my reappointment. I am a product of public education here on island, graduating from John F. Kennedy High School in 1978. I began my teaching career in 1982 with the Guam Department of Education as a special education teacher. In 1990, I moved to the Guam Community College as an English instructor and remained there until I retired from the government as a full professor in December 2016. I am currently employed by the Archdiocese of Hagåtña as a principal of St. Francis Catholic School in Dueñas. The mission of the Guam Commission for Educator Certification is to ensure that all certified Guam educators responsible for the education of our children are qualified and competent to perform their duties as teachers, school counselors, librarians, and school administrators. I've had the privilege of serving on this commission since 2011, and I have held various positions such as treasurer and currently the vice chairperson. I've attended various NASDAQ conferences and institutes that have assisted with the direction of the commission towards ensuring the integrity of professional practices of educators. These conferences have only enhanced my ability to add value to commission discussions during our monthly meetings. With 34 years of teaching experience and 42 years within the realm of education, holding various positions, as well as serving on the Western Association of Schools and Colleges and Western Catholic Educational Association accreditation teams for various schools on island, if I am confirmed, I will continue to bring this depth of experience and breadth of knowledge to the Commission. As we focus on the ever-changing landscape of educational positions and best practices, I would like to be a part of this commission to continue the work of our current charge of ensuring educator quality and the rigorous system of educator certification, as well as any future endeavors the commission may undertake. Through my experiences, I have witnessed a profound impact that qualified, compassionate educators have on student outcomes. I believe that educator certification plays a pivotal role in ensuring that our educators meet standards of competence and professionalism. I am deeply committed to both public and private education and to supporting educators as they shape the future of our island through their work in our schools. In closing, I would like to thank the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts for this opportunity to express my continued interest and desire to serve our island community for another term with the Guam Commission for Educator Certification.
Sido Smasi, Dr. Baza-Cruz, and now with Dr. Lisa Cooper, nurse. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Senator Barnett, and thank you for this opportunity for me to speak here today. My name is Lisa Cooper, nurse, and I am asking your support, as well as the rest of the senators, as confirmation for my appointment to the Guam Commission for Educator Certification as a member. I am currently a school principal at BP Carbolito Elementary School with the Guam Department of Education. And in that position, I have been a certified teacher for the last 25 years and a certified administrator for the last 20 years. And in my position as school principal, I work mainly with certified teachers, certified librarians, and certified counselors. I also work at the university as an adjunct professor. And in my role as an adjunct professor, I teach in the Masters of Education program for School Administration and Supervision and the Masters of Arts in teaching at the University of Guam. And so both those programs lead to licensure in administration and in teaching respectively. And so with that, in my role as an instructor and a school administrator, I feel that my experience that I can bring valuable information and input and contribute to the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. I have been with the Guam Educator Certification Commission as a member since 2015 for 9 years. And so this is now would be my fourth appointment to the position as a member. And as a member, I oversee the Extension Certification Committee. I'm a part of the Standard Operating Procedures Committee that reviews and develops standard operating procedures for GCEC. I am a member of the Professional Conduct Committee and the Search Committee for an Executive Director. Now, the Guam Commission for Educator Certification does have some challenges, and the most pressing challenge that we have at this moment is the fact that we don't have an executive director. And so the position has been vacant since the vacating of Mr. Ken Perez a couple of years ago, and since then we've been unable to fill the position. And so I would like for, to continue the work in trying to find an executive director. The Guam Commission for Educator Certification also feels the need, and we feel partly responsible for working towards a solution to the issue of the lack of certified teachers, most notably in the Guam Department of Education. GDOE still has vacancies in administrators, for teachers and counselors. And so the GCEC has done some work to help find ways within the law and still holding the standards, high standards and requirements for certification, to find alternatives for us to be able to help those who are unable to meet the requirements for certification. And we recognize that there is a need for that, and so we've done some work to find alternatives. But we still have more work to do in that manner, and so I would like to continue to be a part of working towards solution on that issue. And so with that, Senator Barnett, I ask for your support along with the rest of the senators to confirm my appointment again for another 3 years as member of the Guam Commission for Educator Certification. Situ Usmaasi.
Tazagwa, Doc. Thank you. Thank you to both of the doctors. I just have a couple questions, really basic. So in this term, the 37th Guam Legislature, there were a couple measures that were introduced, and these measures were relative to what I think is lowering the standards. There was this narrative that, the praxis is just too hard, so we need to throw it away. And, I'm very sure that the argument was trying to tie the vacancies with, how difficult it is to take the praxis. And I was actually surprised that we did get some testimony in favor of that. But I just wanted to ask the two nominees, what is their position on, and if you don't agree, it's lowering of standards, just changing of standards, elimination of the praxis. Then we'll go ahead and start with you, Dr. Baza-Cruz.
Being an educator is a profession, and each profession has standards. We provide the opportunity for those who are in the education arena to provide evidence that they can do what we expect them to do in the classroom without having to be watched by anybody anywhere. Basic reading, basic math skills are significant to a teacher's ability to ensure accurate information is being provided and taught. So standards, to me, we have had the praxis for many years. It has worked for us. If we are looking at alternatives for those who aren't able to pass it but are within a 5-point range. I'll be very honest, if you can't pass the praxis, then you need to study more.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Cooper-Nurse?
Hello. Thank you, Senator. I do not, those measures that were introduced in this past couple of months, I am not in support of. I truly believe that there is a level of basic competency that all of our teachers need to have, as well as our administrators and our librarians and our counselors. And educators educate our Guam youth. And we already see that there are test scores that aren't meeting the requirements that are up to standard. And so we need to have teachers who are competent enough to be able to educate our students. And so lowering the standard is not something that I'm in favor of at all. I believe that the public law that we have that's currently in place right now is sufficient, and as Dr. Baza-Cruz has said, is working for us, and it has for the past almost 10 years, I think even more than that. And so I was not in favor of those alternatives that were being introduced.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper-Nurse. And I was surprised to find just through having the public hearing on those measures that there already are many allowances that are given to individuals who take the praxis, and that if they don't pass it within a certain point range, right? So I felt like there were remedies already in place. So thank you for those answers. I absolutely agree with you 1,000,000%, and you have my support. And it's my intention to move these nominations quickly so that we can place them on the session agenda for December as we close out the term. I know we've had the extent of our relationship, I think, in this term has been, you coming before the committee to get nominees renewed. But I wish you, in case I don't see you before the turnover of the term, you're going to be under new management with new education chairs. The majority is flipped from Democrat to Republican, but we'll always be a steadfast ally for educators and holding the standard, very much into holding these standards in place. So thank you very much for your support of that, and I wish you the best with your nomination. But like I said, looks good. Yes, Ms. Abade, in closing.
This is the month of Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to say thank you very much, Senator, for everything you've been doing, helping us for this last year with education and for the previous years. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you again to the nominees for your willingness to serve Pare Famagonta for our kids. So thank you. All right. And if there's no further testimony, although you can provide further testimony, you can drop it off written statements on today's hearings within 10 business days from today, which may be mailed to my office on the second floor of the Guam Congress Building at 163 Chalan Santa Papa in Agatna. You can drop them off here or right across the street from the cathedral. You can also send your statements to us at malfunction@guamlegislature.org. Thank you all for your participation. These public hearings conducted by the Committee on Education, Public Safety, and the Arts are hereby adjourned at 10:20 Chamorro Standard Time. Guahusi Senador Chris Malfunction Barnett. Si Dios Masi está adios.